For now, though, I'm going to bring you guys another series of this IEM Qualifiers from the round of 16. So the winner of this will go into the round of 8, where they'll play against either Patience, Jachi, Bly, or Scarlet. So that's going to be in the round of 8, and that'll be the qualifying match. But this is to get there, and we have, starting to the bottom left-hand side of the map, the red Terran player. Let's hear it, guys. If you're cheering on aLive, who just took down Hero 2-0, which we just saw in the previous series here on the stream. And to the top left side of the map, our blue Zerg player. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who this guy is. It's Curious, a long-time player in StarCraft 2. We've known this guy for so long. Of course we have. Of course we have. So, it's going to be setting up into game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Setting up and having a little bit of a look to see what sort of direction this may begin to go in. You saw a little bit of Curious yesterday when he was playing against... I can't remember for the life of me, honestly. Not yesterday, it was on Sunday. Who do we cast playing against Curious? Give me a minute, this is going to bother me if I don't find out. I can check it super quickly, it's just really going to bother me if I don't find out. November, IEM... Natural, yes, I knew it was ZVT as well. So Natural was the Terran player we casted Curious against the other day. And Curious lost one of those. Actually, it was sort of weird because actually in each of the games I felt as though Curious got a little bit behind in his macro. And Natural was just sort of played a bit better and like getting ahead. And then Natural just couldn't kind of close out the game. Like he couldn't take the right engagements to close things out well and truly, you know? So that was sort of what happened. It's pretty interesting, so I wonder how his ZVT is going to look against aLive. aLive's someone we cast a lot, so I think this is, you know, Naturals, we sort of don't know how good he is as much as we do aLive. So I think it's much easier, will be much easier to sort of judge where Curious is at right now based on how he plays against aLive here than it would have been the other day. So we'll go into this and see what's going to happen. I'm going to see this Reaper is heading up towards the northern side of the map. A few Zerglings coming out in towards the center here from Curious. We'll take the watchtower and I guess then we'll continue to look around. As we're just going to be seeing a creep tumor popping down from Curious here to begin with as well. So creep tumor pops down. You're going to see this queen does inject onto the natural expansion. As link speed will finish up shortly. And a few drones from Curious just going to move around as well to see what's up and to see what's happening. So this drone comes over. We're going to see a grenade going down. We're going to be seeing that drone getting picked up. So drone gets picked up, and that's actually going to be a nice little denial on the third base already, as aLive will now lose this Reaper, unfortunately. So he'll lose the Reaper, but that's still been a pretty good start. Slowing that drone down. The drone only taking the third base so slowly because Neurotize Carapace did come up. And that was pretty neat. You see these Hellions going to run by these Queens, and just going to go straight up in towards the main base. And you know what? Curious does not have any units right now to defend these Hellions, so here we go into the main base. It's the summertime once again on Whirlwind, as we're going to see a barbecue heating on up. And actually, the drone surround is going to minimize the damage they take here. As we're going to be seeing this Hellion gets one last shot off, and how was that? 10 workers? Well, not great, but at the same time, 6 workers go down for the Terran player as well. So actually really not great for our Terran player. Losing workers at home, killing off workers on the other side of the map. I mean, obviously, if he wasn't killing workers, he would have been there to home to defend. I think 10 workers for 4 Hellions is probably one of the okay-ish trades you can make. Like, it's not brilliant for Curious, but it's not the end of the world, and especially if he does damage to counter at the same time. I actually don't really mind this for him, as we're going to be seeing these Hellions, though. We're going to run in again. This time it's a more stacked-up natural. This could be even worse for Curious than it was before. He still doesn't have any units. Maybe just... I mean, he should have expected more Hellions, right? Because he was on the other side of the map. He saw these being made. He lost his Zerglings to these Hellions already. So this is really strange. You're going to see drones getting roasted to the very end. And that's another 19 workers killed. Well, that is absolutely brutal. Is that right? 29 workers killed? That is absolutely crazy. Alright, well that was very worthwhile for aLive the second time around. And this time there was not a run by to kind of do some damage to keep Curious in it at the same time. aLive making a Banshee right now, more so than anything, I would say just a safety Banshee to make sure that he doesn't die to any sort of roach-based attack all of a sudden or anything like that. It's just going to give him that little bit of extra safety. You can also harass with it as well, which is also an added benefit. So that's, that is a big bonus if you can kind of get some harassment with it, even though it's got no cloak. But in general, I mean, it's still just kind of mainly to make sure you don't die after taking such a big lead. You're going to see an SCV over here. Looks like aLive wants to build his third CC in position. So I guess he's going to be looking to put that down in a moment or two with this SCV over here. And this Banshee is looking around for aLive as well. Going to come over to the left and I guess then come back over towards the center as well. So it's going to be moving around and again looking to see what's up, looking to see what's happening. As we do see a Viking moving forward. A couple of Lings sat underneath. I mean, the Viking just looking to pick up some Overlord kills. So it's already on 2 kills, which is actually not bad. I mean, it's what you expect, 2 early Overlords out on the map to kind of go scout. And that's pretty much all the Overlords that are on the map. There's one over here. That's in the main base, though, even if it is on the edge of the main base. With Neoptez Carapace, these Overlords should be very safe as well to pull back before Queens. In time to kind of get Queens in range to help as well. Look at this, though. Furious is going to go for a lot of Banes, and he was just going to go for a big Ling Bane attack. He stopped drones at 36, and, well, then he gets found by the Banshee, which is obviously not ideal. Moving some Banes now to the right-hand side towards this base, which means that the Banshee will not be able to cancel them on their way in. You will not be able to kill them as they walk forwards either. So that's going to be pretty interesting here as this Banshee is going to keep chasing around. We'll find a few more Banes now, and we'll actually find a few of these to pick off. He only actually 3-shots Cocoons, whereas he will 2-shot the actual Banelings with the Banshee. So that's something he wants to target instead. He'd rather get the actual Banelings than Cocoons. We're going to see Marines with Stim target down a lot of these Banes here. And aLive just has to figure out how he's going to deal with this next wave of Banelings. Probably will just pull up to the high ground here, use his secondary wall. He's already pulled his SCVs up the ramp. As you can see, he's just going to lose his reactor. Ooh, Banelings actually do connect a little bit there. One more Baneling as well. Very nearly gets a big connection. Marines will now start dropping down. Furious can just see that he's not going to win with this, and he's going to GG out of this game. aLive will take game number 1 on Whirlwind. Very solid play. Or to get invited for more big events. Well, you know what, guys? You should go and tell everyone to invite me to more big events. It's one of those things where when it happens once or twice, a couple more times, I think, and if people think I'm good enough at big events, which I sort of believe I am, especially with a bit more experience now that I've done one, I think we'll get to that point where, maybe more people will. Problem is, there's just so many good StarCraft 2 casters, right? Like, why would you fly me to your event if you can get someone like Todd, or someone like Roddy, or someone like Nathanius, right? Like, the best of the best. It makes a lot of sense. So yeah. This is my view on it anyways. But yeah, go out, hit up the streets, spread the word that that all the organizers should get me to their events. Big benefit again, Wardy to your event is that he's cheap. He's cheaper than most of the big guys, I can tell you that much. It's a big benefit again, Wardy. But again, I mean, it's a risk as well, right? Like, WESG took the risk and got me to do Brazil. And that was a good event, but it wasn't exactly like the most viewed event or anything, right? Like, it had like 2 or 3K viewers until like the finals, so, it was a great experience, but I wouldn't say it was like, it's not like the exposure I would have got if I did a DreamHack or something, so. I just gotta keep on building my fan base, I just gotta keep on streaming, I just gotta keep on pushing and improving my casting as well. I actually let up WSG Brazil, I've got so much to do to improve my casting, so that's all things to work on. I think I've got a way to go. Maybe next year. Maybe in 2017. Maybe. Guys, to the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player is going to be aLive. And to the bottom right, is going to be our blue Zerg player. It's going to be Furious. So, as we set on up here, we're just going to be having a look to see what is going on as aLive. Just going to be trading away against these few Zerglings. Just going to be trying to pick a few of those off, and again, a few things just being a little bit of a nuisance right now, so nothing super crazy. Just going to see a Hellion starting to come on out here from aLive. So setting up into this, a couple of Marines are on the way out as well, as we see the natural CC going to be finishing up interesting sort of opening here. I wonder what he's actually overall going to go for, as he is. It's not kind of super common to make the 2 Marines and then 1 Hellion instead of just swapping onto the reactor straight away. So, I'm going to see the factory going to drop down onto the reactor now. And they're just going to be seeing Hellions continuing to be reacted out then. So, a couple of Marines will start to pick away at this Overlord. Actually, would have been able to pick this off if this other Marine wasn't slacking. Live paying a bit too much attention to the Reaper, which does go down in the end anyway. Did he kill any workers? No, so it wasn't really worthwhile. He's going to kill the Overlord anyway, so I guess in the end it's sort of worthwhile. I thought he wasn't going to get the Overlord. Anyways, this is going to be a Marine Hellbat attack with a Medivac in tow as well. So we're going to be setting up into this and going across the map over to the right-hand side very soon. So, just going to be seeing what's going on, seeing what's happening. And a 4th Hellion comes out and moving over to the far right. So, a few Hellions going to go over to the far right-hand side, and you can see a few Marines inside. And, well, this is the time for this big attack to come on in. So a few more Queens just going to join together on the edge of the creep spread. A few Marines going to drop out as well. There we go. Hellbats will start to morph in, and the question is Curious prepared? Well, he has 11 Zerglings, which is generally going to be a pretty big resounding no to the is he prepared question. Because aLive just has so much here. The Hellions are going to try and come in maybe from the back. They might actually go try and cover reinforcements. The Queen count's pretty good, and the Queen count is maybe the one thing that will be the redeeming factor here for our Zerg player. He does push the Medivac away. Medivac comes back. Will try and stick away from as many Queens as possible because he doesn't want to lose it. Queen's getting very low as they start to run out of transfuse energy, but the Hellbat's getting low as well. Medivac's still just about alive. In the end, Curious makes a pretty good defense of this. I mean, he's going to lose a few of his Queens, which is never super fun, and especially as a Liberator follow-up is on the way. The Liberator is already out moving across the map. And with that Liberator out, obviously if you don't have a set of Queens up, life is a little bit life becomes a little bit more difficult to clean on up here. So that's going to be an interesting actually to see here. Now I guess there's another Queen up. There's a Spore in the main. Curious is actually very ready for this. So Curious, good defense overall. I did doubt him initially, not going to lie. I didn't think he had enough, but he did. It's always the Queens, right? The Queens are very deceitful in how much they can actually do to defend. He was very good at targeting the Medivac every time it came close, which keeps the Medivac away. And if that Medivac isn't nearby, it can't do the healing, which is actually what gives so much of the longevity to that sort of attack usually. So that's a really big little thing as well as the Liberator. Picks up 4 kills total. Is actually going to get away from the Spore, so will stay alive for a little while longer. And come in again later, as we're going to be seeing aLive. Going to come into mech play now, +1 vehicle weapons coming on up. I'm just going to be seeing the engineering bay coming down the front, I guess just for turrets in case of a muta play or something. He's also going into a Cloak Banshee, so he's really just setting up to sort of, well, go for like a Hellion Banshee follow-up, just look for some more damage. He's actually going to morph in the Hellbats once again. I wonder if the continued attacks from aLive may have a bit more success, because now the Queens aren't as high a number. Now there's Banshee here to just add a little bit of extra solid DPS to the Queens as well. Could be quite effective. There's no less. As long as he stays out of Spore Crawler range, this Banshee is going to have a pretty good time. Hellbats will pull back to help the other Hellbats. Only one Hellbat dies to the Lings so far. And there's that Cloak up. And again, just a couple shots from the Banshee does so much to help this along the way. But there is a lot of Spores. However, now those drones are in a really bit of a tough corner. He is just about going to get away with these. aLive maybe just paying a bit more attention to that point just at that moment. Might be able to do this. I love this though. Look at this Banshee just poking in and out. Without the lair, again, it's super difficult to really fight this Banshee because it has to be in range of the Spore Crawler for the Queens to be able to do anything. So that's pretty neat. As overall here, aLive takes like a couple workers advantage. Again, I feel as though it's sort of very even trades. A little bit favorable for aLive, I guess, overall. I mean, going up in workers is generally a good thing. And considering he's playing mech as well, yeah, considering he's playing mech, the lair's only just starting at 7 minutes. That's the thing, right? You've got to look at the other things. aLive has continued to tech up. He's got 3 bases, whereas Curious, yeah, his supply is good, his upgrades are decent, but he's missing tech elsewhere. He's missing his lair, and because he's missing his lair, he can't actually build any other tech. So we're just going to be seeing this Banshee coming over towards the bottom left side. We'll get repaired up, and I guess we'll go across them up here in just a few moments' time. Going to be seeing these Zerglings still from Curious, just moving backwards and forwards and having a little bit of a look to see what else is going on. We're going to see a few Queens popping down the Crypt Tumors. So a few Crypt Tumors going down and Just going to be spreading out further onto the map. Actually, that's the one thing that aLive hasn't really been able to do much of at all in this game, it seems, so far. Just continuing to spread out the, to shut down some of the creep, actually. So that's something he definitely hasn't done quite as much. And as we're going to be seeing these couple of Banshees will cloak up from quite a distance, actually. And they're going to start moving in towards the main base, perhaps. I guess they'll come in here and pick up a drone or two. There's so many Queens in position, though, so he doesn't even get a single drone. And I guess now he'll go in towards the main base. So I guess we'll see. You see one drone going down instantly, a second drone, a third drone, fourth drone. Damage here is actually pretty good. A Queen goes down as well, and some more drones continue to be picked away at. So drones going down. Banshee's doing a pretty decent job, as we do just see to the side here. The Hellions sieging up, sitting on the edge of the creep spread. So the Hellions will just sit on the edge of the creep, and these Banshees again going to be moving down to the far bottom right side of the map. So they're just going to hide in this corner for a few moments as the rest of the Hellions here from aLive. And they're just going to be backing away over to the left. So they're going to back away over to the left side of the map, and these Zerglings from Curious continuing to run around as well. They're going to look to come in from this upper left side down towards the natural expansion. And if he gets this run by off, this could be huge. Actually, the wall isn't even completed, so aLive, don't know if you realized that, but it's a big mistake, because now SCVs will start to fall, and these Banshees are being a nuisance. One of these Banshees has 17 kills. Wow, that must be the Banshee that we first saw across the map. I was doing so much damage earlier. I mean, aLive loses a few workers, but actually the Hellions are a bit faster to respond than I thought they might be, so he cleans that up without too much issue. And these Banshees still just around liberating the natural expansion as well. And the damage just keeps piling up here for Curious, who just can't seem to catch a break at this point. And this Liberator's had a time of its life. 6 kills. Again, not just the workers he's killing, but the mining time he's denying. You know, multiple times we've seen bases evacuated from a Zerg player, pulling all of the drones away because he just doesn't have what he needs to realistically sort of defend. You know, he has to kind of just pull away, wait for spores to reposition, wait for Queens to get in location as well. The multi-pronged harass from aLive has really been on point this game. And this Banshee with 17 kills is the one that survives here. You can tell who the veteran is and who the new pilot is. As one of them gets shot down, the other's still around 17 kills later. Anyway, it's time for this push from aLive, and honestly, +2 mech weapons. He's just got so many units. And yeah, there's a few Hydras and Ravagers, but I do feel that without the... well, actually, there's quite a lot of Hydras Ravagers, but without Vipers, it'll be a bit more difficult. If he can catch this army on siege, which he's starting to do right now, then maybe. I think he's doing the right thing, which is to sort of attack mid-map to slow this down and to force sieges. And now aLive has to sort of leapfrog forwards instead of just straight up attacking forwards. Again, Ling's going to run by in towards the natural mineral line, and that's something which aLive needs to be a bit more cautious of. Keep an eye on that midi-map, try and raise these depots the next time around. You need to sort of try and keep an eye on that, as we're going to be seeing these tanks again collecting together towards the center of the map here. You'll see this Liberated from aLive going to go all the way up to the top side. I'm going to continue to push in over towards the third base. So we'll continue to push in over towards the third base. You can see a couple of tanks sieging up. One Roach goes down instantly. You're going to see a couple of Biles going to keep on coming down here. As we're going to be seeing these Cyclones are going to be a little bit of damage as well. Trying to deal a bit more to some more of these units. There's just so many units here for aLive. I mean, he's playing mech against like Roach Hydra with not really too much else behind it, and I think just the damage he's done throughout the game is really apparent at this point. You can just see how much he's able to do with this mech army, and how little Curious really has to say about it. You know, he's just sort of sat here taking the hits because there's nothing else he can do at this point. He just isn't in a good spot because of the damage he took earlier, and so he's just losing. If you Roaches pop out, they disappear. It's like they never even existed. And Curious... And what do? The tanks continue to push forwards again to better and better positions. The Liberators will push forwards as well. Here we go. We're going to see a big flank coming in. Curious, but probably one of the better concaves you could set up right now. Some corrosive valves begin to pick their way through some of the tanks. And hey, he cleans up like half the tanks, but he loses his entire army while doing so. So that's going to be GG. And aLive with the 2-0 will go through to the qualifying match. And we'll